All right. Hey. What's up, everybody? What's up? This is the Nabi back again. All right. And so, if y'all can, I know there's some people up in here, so it's still showing at 0 for some reason. But, okay, hold on. If y'all can, let me see where I'm at. So, what's going on? I'm kind of getting used to these time zones. Um, every once in a while, they throw me off. It's nice to see a lot more of you up in here at the beginning. And this is going to be like a fair warning. This is going to be a fair warning. And if y'all can, and y'all have some brothers that might be interested, um, if you would share the video right now, if you can share the video right now, um, with them, let them know that I'm here. And for you all that are just popping in, I'm going to wait for a hot second because of the nature of what's going on here. Y'all have to realize that the world is at war with the Afro man in the US. And we're talking about the world in the West and those who want to be influenced by the West more than their own culture. All right. And the best way to do this is our problem is with people that look like us and their women are jumping on board with the women that are tearing apart our communities. All right. So basically, basically, the Afro community as it stands is going to disappear. Right. And it's going to disappear for a particular reason. That instead of repentance, the B dubs have waged an all out, I don't give an F attitude to the point where they are seeking to um, marry the LGBT males. All right. Um, and when you go and look on all these apps and stuff like that, and keep in mind, it's the younger girls that are watching these apps and growing up in the ways of the adult women that they see in these apps. Okay? So I haven't done this in a while, so let me greet everybody real quick. Havorten Hardugu Dog, Ola Oi to the main, Vasus Los Bonjem is me, Kedu Bawani Kunichiwa, Nihao Niyama, Sani Bonani, Jambo Harbaragani, Assalamu alaikum, Shalom. Also, Buenas noches. Um, for let's add them in here because been spending a lot of time in Spanish speaking countries. All right. So, brothers, y'all don't know how seriously in danger any Afro man is to remain in proximity of these people within our own community. And we're talking about even our own family members. Now, if this election hasn't taught you anything, right? I was just having a discussion with a brother as to why I don't vote, right? And we're going to get into that here. I put a video up earlier today in reference to that. TikTok took it down. For those of you who've seen the video, y'all know there is nothing, no hate in there at all, just truth And my point of view from what scripture says, and TikTok called it hate speech. And so what we see here is there's a trend that anything that the B-dub want to call hate speech that an Afro man does, TikTok will mark as such. But the B-dub, understand this, on TikTok can advocate, promote, and call for the unaliving of Black men. And the Caucasian men on TikTok can call us every derogatory name or substitute for derogatory name, and TikTok will allow that. TikTok will allow for Black women to promote 186 of Afro men. They promote them calling us bullet bags. TikToks allow this promotion and allow them to have live streams and protects that free speech, but you can't talk about the spiritual condition of our community. Let that sink in, right? So, hey, what's up, David Bowman? Right? What's up, King Groove 713? And what's up, Outlaw? And what's up to everybody else that's popping right in, right? So basically, we're going to address a lot of what's going on in these here circles. All right. Because y'all have to understand there is a lot going on. There is a whole lot going on. Right. There is right. TikTok is for, and I'm gonna say this. And I'm gonna really go in on them. TikTok is the worst place to buy a product on unless it's a hardware electronics like the ice machines or something like that. All right. Outside of shoes, clothing is bad. Anything that is being promoted by anyone on TikTok, you should not buy, because TikTok allows this dishonesty in promotion. They allow people to come on and make boisterous claims about a product. And if you buy it, it could be hazardous and dangerous to your health. All right. But TikTok will allow it because people will say this is a review, but it's really not a review. The only people, like I do honest reviews about stuff that I got off of TikTok just so y'all could be aware. All right. And if you notice in my review, I don't have that orange button down there trying to sell the thing that I'm reviewing. If you're trying to sell the thing, if you have something, if you're reviewing something and you have it for sale, then you're not reviewing it. You're trying to promote it. Hey, what's up, Elia? Okay. You are trying to promote it. You're not trying to review it, right? TikTok is being filled with so much dishonesty. It's ridiculous. And like you said, TikTok is pro BAW, right? So long as she's anti-Afro male. And so you got a lot of Afro male hate going on TikTok, where TikTok is seemingly, in my opinion, sponsoring it. And we know this because when we tried to hold them accountable for the things that they're advocating to cause harm to the Afro man and the Black child, TikTok will allow them to hinder our speech, even as we watch video after video of them destroying children by putting them in oven. That's in the news. Jumping off of Niagara Falls with the children. That's in the news. All this stuff is in the news. All right. And so basically, what's happening is there's not going to get any better with the Afro community. And one of the main reasons that the Afro community cannot and will not improve is that what the B-dubs will do is, while they're having the men that are telling the truth banned, the men who are lying, they are promoting them so that they can say, see, we have a man that's saying what we say, right? And men will lie to make money off of the B-dub. Everybody's making money off of them. And they are being destroyed just as fast as they want us destroyed. And this is why our only option is to get a passport or deal with other communities. Because here's the thing, the Afro man is on the menu everywhere that is not what, even in the West. Let me take that back. We are the SH in Deutschland, Germany. All right. So we're desired in Europe pretty much. When you go to Amsterdam, Holland, Germany, and stuff like that. I wouldn't mess with Africa too much. All right. Because we should be weary of someone who covers up their natural beauty with the hair hats of the other community. Hey, what's up, Ace? All right. So we should really beware of that. Hey, if you don't forget to share this live, right? And this is going to be a discussion in a little bit, but I want to present some information real quick, and I want to start with the lies and stuff. Okay, so basically, what we have here in this that's going on, we have a group of women that are promoting lies in order to make themselves look better than they are. But there's another thing. When I say the B-dub don't belong to us Afro men, it is not our duty to protect women that are not under our leadership. It is not our duty to provide for women who are not under our leadership. It is not. And here's the other thing. Brothers, we have to have standards. We have to have standards. Okay? Meaning that if these women are so far from virginity, and if they have other men's children, we are not supposed to be with them. If they're getting child support from some thug's child, we're not supposed to be with them. That thug can be in prison. We're not supposed to be with them. And statistically speaking, they probably put him there. I want y'all to understand that. I have a thing right here that there was a woman on TikTok. She was like, her boyfriend made her mad, and this is why they choose dudes that sell product that's the worst in the community, because they have control over them. So he made her upset about something. She called 911 and told 911 everything he was doing. 911 came and arrested him. This is why they don't like good men. All right. When I say B-dubs don't belong to black men, they've become the daughters of perdition. I am serious about that. What you see is a lot of them involved in witchcraft. You see a lot of them embracing being labeled as witches by the media. And you see them in a lot of these movies. If you notice that the B-dub is so much a part of the white culture. Not to say nothing's wrong with that, but she's not a part of her own culture. She joined the Caucasians, and she's a part of their culture. She's a part of their Hollywood culture. She is the one that introduces their culture into our community and neighborhoods. All right. And here's the thing. The Afro man and the B dub is divergent. Okay. The Afro man is trying to get next to the Most High, and the B dub is she is slowly, well, rapidly drifting away from the Most High, the protection of the Afro men, right? And all this is because she expected to do wickedness in the community and expected the Afro man to still protect and provide. And that's not happening because the Afro man is realizing that they do not belong to us. And that's their choice. Remember, the Most High gave us options. He gave us a choice, right? So there was a brother that put this up, right? And he needs to get the 1611 King James Version if he wants that Bible, or the Bishop's Bible, or the Geneva Bible. All right. Or just rip the New Testament out because that's not for us. That's what the Romans wrote to drive us away from the commandments and our own culture, right? So when we say this, right? When we say this, when you look in Hollywood, you see this as a factor. You see this as a factor. Hey, JJ, I've been doing well. I've been doing well. Um, right now, I am in, right now, I'm in the Dominican Republic. All right. And I'll tell you a story about here too. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, what's up, $3 assassin? All right. So even here in the DR, right? I had a girlfriend, and she's the reason I here, came back here, right? What's up, Cortez? She's the reason I came back here. And what happened is she, from my last visit, she started to show a little disrespect, and I made up in my mind that if she can go too far, and when she does, it's over immediately, and she did. And basically, what happened is I had some issues with TSA, and TSA broke a lot of my stuff. So I was trying to deal with the issue, right? And I just wanted to be by myself while I dealt with this thing. All right. And so I didn't like the way she presented herself when she came up when I got here. All right. She came up, and I really didn't have a chance to unpack yet. Right. But then I sent her a message, and I said I need to deal with some stuff, and I want to be by myself and deal with it so I could decide to make these calls and stuff. There was paperwork I had to do and fill out and fax, and it's crazy. But she came up anyway. This is why she came up here. Jealousy, right? She came up here because of jealousy. All right. Now, let me explain to you how this jealousy worked. She thought that the reason why I told her that I wanted to be alone for a minute to deal with this stuff was because, and she knew I was dealing with these things too, because I explained that to her. But she was expecting to see, she was thinking, oh, he got another woman. And I'm thinking she's thinking that because that's what she would do. Like when I'm gone, she has another man, right? Because, little suspicious stuff. I just never called it out because I'm not concerned about that. I treat you how you treat me. And if you're doing something shady, it'll come back to get you sooner or later, right? And so basically, what happened is she came here while I was asleep, start knocking on my door, right? I went, opened the door. No, she knocked, then she called me and woke me up. All right, really woke me up. And then I realized she was knocking on the door. And so she called again, and then I went to open the door and she was gone. And so I went and walked down the hallway to see if she left all the way. And she was sitting in the chair in the hallway, just in the corner, because she was expecting a woman to run out and then me to make some kind of excuse. But the egg was in her face and on her face because I didn't have nobody here because I don't need like a bunch of women. And that made me understand I didn't need her. So I invited her back to the room so she could look around because I knew what it was. And when she looked around, then I told her, we're done. Then she started explaining this, more. Da, 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 da. I didn't have time to hear it because I didn't want to think in Spanish anyway, right? I wanted to deal with the issue. And so this is the thing. Now, what was wrong with this? The whole thing that she did was because of lack of respect for my word and lack of respect for the things that I had to do. And she thought everything revolved around her. So now it can revolve around her while she's by herself. Right. And so this is what we're getting to. We have a segment of females that think the earth revolves around them. And now that men are leaving them alone and not tolerating it, because we have options, we have the Southeast Asians, we have the Europeans, we have everyone except the Afro women in the so-called B-dubs in the West. And I mean any of them, because they are all drinking the same water, seemingly. All right. And so this is a problem. Now, another thing is a problem. Hollywood is telling them they have power in this witchcraft. Hollywood, this is what Hollywood is telling them. All right. And it is so much so that they got a lot of this stuff going on. All right. Now, here's the thing. And I'm going to say this. I stopped calling myself a Christian a long time ago because my behavior and desire to do good for the community was less Christian than anything. Because Christianity went and forced people to be that religion at gunpoint or at the point of the sword. And then it stripped people of the resources by lying to them of their own heritage. Every place they went to, the people understood naturally the commandments of the Most High as a culture, but the Christians and the missionaries said that we will train your children, and this is why they go after the children. Because the adults that have wisdom, they're not going to fall for that stuff. But they train their children in schools. If you look at what's going on in the schools now with the alphabet crew and how they were going in to manipulate the school system and do all these things in school over these past 4 years, they were trying to warp the children. All right. And people saw through it. And what did the government do? It prosecuted the parents that wanted their children raised in a certain way. This is why we shouldn't have our children in public schools. We should be training our children. up in the way that they should go. All right. And so when you look at um, this story is from the Atlantic, right? So when you look at the B Dub is following Hollywood. They are following Hollywood, right? Now, here's the thing. This is going to place them in serious trouble. And any brother that gets with them, right? And here's the other thing. They cannot even present, a lot of B-dubs can't present as just loving women. They don't present as loving women. I want y'all to look at this real quick. This is how they go to church. All right. Now, and this other story, Florida woman emailed her ex-boyfriend college claiming he's a dealer, causing him to lose his scholarship. This is what we're dealing with. We are dealing with an adversary. This woman caused her ex to lose his scholarship, and she lied. This woman lied, causing her ex to lose his scholarship. This is what we're dealing with, people. Hey, what's up, Cornelius? Um, yeah, you okay. At this time, let me remind you to like, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, click the notification bell, right? And you might have to do it again because I haven't been on here for a minute, and so YouTube is kind of funny. But now that I found some things to help me with the internet, right? I'm going to be doing most of my lives here on YouTube, right? So let the people know on TikTok that you follow. For those of you who are on TikTok, and tell them to search for this channel by my name, Afro Nabi, right? Look for the eagle, but you're going to have to search for it, right? And that's our problem. A lot of people miss me when I do these things because they're not searching for my name, Afro Nabi, and subscribing like that, right? Now, I got a Facebook request from Glorilla. I checked the page out to confirm it was really her. Then I blocked her. Right. And I'm like, I'm getting some stuff from some famous people too. And I'm like, why? Right. Here's the thing. If Christianity was any good for us, they would not have taught it to us. They taught Christianity to us to get us to worship our oppressor. And then when the truth come out that everybody in scripture was black, meaning the Old Testament, now all of a sudden from the same Caucasian persuasion and some of these females that want to follow the lie still, they say, well, it don't matter. It don't matter. Color don't matter. Color does matter. If color didn't matter, they would not have whitewashed everything. Understand the hypocrisy of it, right? And so we're getting into this where we are dealing with women with a lying tongue that are getting people destroyed in everything they're trying to build. They're getting, they're silencing our voices on these social media apps, right? And this is why it is important for us men to come together as a group minus the B-dub. So we do not need to be joining with men that have B-dubs in their midst, like Fugays and all the rest of these dudes that have these panels, like they saying something. They're not doing anything for nobody. And those of us like myself that who are out here trying to do something for the children and stuff, we don't get no support from Afro people. As a matter of fact, I'm hardly getting any support at all. Right? People would rather donate to brothers that ain't doing nothing for the community to make them rich enough to buy a house and say they're six-figure income when they didn't create nothing. They're just, here's the thing. When somebody makes their money by being a social media person, they didn't create anything. You should not be impressed with a woman that became a millionaire by laying on her back. All right. She's actually destructive to the community, right? But that's her choice. She's not a benefit to the community. As a matter of fact, when women make money, they're not a benefit to their own family. They will sacrifice their family for their own happiness. Whereas a man will sacrifice his happiness for his family. And I've been told y'all that. Other people are just now starting to wake up to that. Right? So a lying tongue, the Most High detests a lying tongue because it is so destructive. It is ridiculous. And we are seeing what these B-dubs are doing in the Afro community with this lying tongue. Right? And it says, I shall draw near to you for right ruling, and I shall be a swift witness against the practicers of witchcraft. Now, understand what witchcraft is. It isn't these females with a pointy hat and stuff. It's anybody that uses a system of manipulation to get something out of somebody from their own gain through manipulation. All right, whether they're consorting with other entities to do it, or they're lying, or whatever. All of this is as of witchcraft. Right? And so we are witnesses against it because we are directly affected by it, especially the lying tongue, against adulterers, right? And against them that swear to falsehoods. This is the B-dub again, them that swear to falsehoods, against those who oppress the wage earner. Dang! Did y'all hear that? Against those who oppress the wage earner. But listen to that again. This is what everything that the Afro man is dealing with. So this is calling into judgment not only the B-dub, but the Caucasian system as well. All right? Because they do this to Afro men. They oppress the wage earner. How do they say it? Last hired, first fired. When they want to give your job to somebody else, they'll manipulate the situation to get you fired. The B-dub will lie on you to get you fired. And what did that thing? What did I just show you? A B-dub called and lied on her ex and destroyed his scholarship. We look at all these football players where these women destroyed their scholarship, destroyed their livelihood. And let's not forget Brian Banks and Juanetta Gibson, how Juanetta Gibson and her mother destroyed this man at the age of 16, him going to prison for something that never happened because the system itself allowed it. and paid these women millions of dollars that the system will never get back. These women spent up that money so fast. So yeah, they reward these women. That's what witchcraft is. It's not somebody sitting around a black pot and stuff like that. Is these women in their lying tongue, or men and their lying tongue, or the system who create this whole system was nothing but falsehoods, where people no longer trust the media, no longer trust these social um, media things. Don't trust fact checkers anymore because they did nothing but lie to us. And now that all the truth is coming out, no one will be held accountable. Not the people running these social media thing, right? So against those who oppress the wage earner and widows and the fatherless and those who turn away the sojourner and do not fear me, said Yahweh of hosts. Now, those who turn away the sojourner, when Afro men go into certain communities, he's not welcomed by his own. That's a sojourner, a traveler. He's turned away. And the other reason these B-dubs are getting involved in witchcraft is they have no fear for the Most High's commandments. They have no fear for judgment. They have no fear for accountability because no one holds them accountable. Like Shirzad Ali said, they are the least examined and the least held accountable. All right. Now, understand this. 1 Samuel 15 and 23, for rebellion is as the sin of divination. So the B-dub rebelled against the authority and the protection of the Afro men, thereby rebelling against the commandments of the Most High. And the presumption is as iniquity and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has also rejected you being king. All right. So here's the thing. Why do I mention all this? Right? Because when we look back and look at the Old Testament, we're looking at history of stuff that's happened already. We're looking at the nature of human beings, whether it be men or women. But when we see this witchcraft and we're looking at it now, we're seeing the nature of these women when it comes to this. We are seeing this nature. All right. We are seeing the nature that's happening right now. All right. Hey, for those of you new popping up in here, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, click the notification bell. All right, so that you can be notified that I'm going live. All right, and share this channel if you can, because once we get it past 1,000 people that subscribe, I think we will have less problems with people being notified. I didn't say no problems. I think it would be less, right? Oh, and my PayPal and Cash App is in the description box. If y'all would like to help me do what I do for children in the communities across the world, well, really, yeah, well, you can say that. You can say that because I go across the water and do it now too. But anyway, so with that said, okay, so when we really get into this, right? Right. Understand this. You see a lot of these movies from coming out of Hollywood featuring the B-dub as witches or as evil, right? And even when it doesn't feature the B-dub. If it features an Afro man, trust me, he is on the other side of the fence. Testament of Reuben. And since they have no power or strength over man, they use wiles by outward attraction that they may draw him to themselves. And the Most High warned us about that. Right. No, hold on. And I want to point something out too, because we're going to get to something, another lie that they tell, right? And everything is a lie. Everything coming out of their mouth is a lie. And we'll show that, we'll show the research about the divorce, right? The B-dub they're trying to say that the most successful relationship, the longest lasting marriage is when a white man marries a black woman, but that's not true. All right. They have the third quickest divorce rates. The quickest divorce rate is between a black woman and a black man. The second quickest is white woman and a black man. Third quickest is white man, black women. All right, they are nowhere near the top. As a matter of fact, you will see later that, and I put it out there, that the black woman has the highest divorce rate, even higher than the black men. All right, they have a higher divorce rate than black men. As a matter of fact, we would have a much lower divorce rate if we were to marry anyone but the B-dub, statistically speaking. Our desire is for them, so we marry them at a higher rate. But statistically speaking, if we went and married more of them, more outside, we would stay married longer. If you follow the statistic, I'll show you that in a minute. Right? And here's verse 14. And whom they cannot bewitch by outward attraction, him they were overcome by witchcraft. Okay? And witchcraft, again, meaning manipulation. They'll use the government. They'll use whoever gives them the power to do so. Right? And this is why we must separate. When the Most High said sanctify ourselves, he meant that. And that is made for the B-dub too. What's up, Space Rice Crispy and Autobot? That is meant for the B-dub too. Right. Hold on. Understand something about Christians. Anybody could be a Christian, even a practicing, someone practicing witchcraft. Remember, Christianity is a religion that was created by the Romans. We call it Christian because that's what Caucasians taught us to call it. Remember, we had our own systems where we understood and knew the Most High, and we lived according to the commandments. And the Christians are the one that came in and said, oh, you don't need the commandments anymore. Just follow our white Caucasian Messiah that we painted a picture of, which is why the Most High said you should not bow down and worship any graven image. Right? But they kept us from those commandments so that we would see them as holy and God while they were ripping us off and committing mass genocide. All right? And it just went past us. Right. Most of us would turn away. And by the way, what's up, Autobot? Right. And so, and when you look at it, most of us will turn away. Why? Because on Esther, remember on Esther, right? Or Esther on Good Times. Jesus had to be a white man. Remember that. And even when they went over the scripture, It had turned out, well, it'll just have to be a compromise. So when did we start compromising the truth? Well, we was taught to Hollywood and all this stuff. Even when I look at people discussing scripture on YouTube, if it's coming from out of the mouth of certain people, I just bypass it because you don't know. You're talking about things from your point of view, as if your point of view, after all the wickedness you've done to the world, matters. Oh, right. And that's the significance. And this is the thing. Yeah, the BAW, noticing that they have been tricked by the Caucasian women, right? And when you look at it, right, this election that came up by, let me skip down here. Um, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. They haven't been tricked. They thought they were tricking everybody else, right? They thought they became the leaders of the Caucasian movement. All right. Because notice what they're saying. They're saying they're angry at the Caucasian woman for not following the BW. At some point, they thought that the Caucasian women, that they were leading the Caucasian woman in something that the Caucasian woman created. So the Caucasian woman created this movement against men, and they invited the BW in, and the BW thought they took it over. But the Caucasian woman just won their purpose, right? And so they went back to loving their men, their families, having and raising their children, fighting on behalf of their family because they realized that procreation of their community was how they were going to survive as a community. And it's the B dub that's out on that ledge by themselves, still despising men that died. Actually, literally, the Afro men, unlike the Caucasian men, the Afro men literally died for the benefit of the community, was assassinated. COINTELPRO, FBI, and the B Dub, the B Dub just didn't get. They didn't appreciate that. They dismissed it, and they tried to hide that history. And not only did they try to hide that history, they then tried to take over that history that is the Afro men. Right? The country is being judged. Right? So this country is being judged. Right? Ooh, and they don't want to hear that. This is something that Putin has put across the. That's a shot across the bow too. He's not the only one to recognize the Afro people in the U.S. as the image of the Most High and the people of the Most High. Hey, what's up, USMC vet? Right. Here's the thing. Because no brother is safe. We could defend ourselves when we know they're coming. But these are the ones that wait till we sleep or that we have to watch our food. I mean, I want y'all to really think about that closely. Okay? We have to watch everything. We have to watch everything. It's sad that I am safer taking soccer balls into a place that have automatic pew pews than I am in the presence of a B-dub I don't know. Because at least in those places where I'm doing things for the youth, I know they appreciate it. Whereas in the United States, I know hardly any B-dub appreciate any good that men do. If they did, all these stories that you see coming out with the behavior and the attacks on men in a surprising way would not be a thing. A brother talked about B-dub being defective product, and he was saying that defective products go extinct in nature. Yes. Here's the thing, because the Most High told us to be fruitful and multiply, right? He also told us to sanctify ourselves. And whether we do it consciously or unconsciously, right? Our first desire is for to be done. And we consider her our standard of the standard of beauty, right? But what's happening is we are starting to value the femininity and the respect that we're getting from the other women, and we're seeing the beauty in that outshines the physical features of the B-dub. The other thing we're seeing is the B-dub don't know how to be feminine anymore. And by feminine, I'm not talking about this feminine energy. I'm talking about be a feminine female. Like when other women present to us, they present themselves from the front. It's the B-dub that leads with her back. All right. That's what thugs like. You know, the ones that just come out of prison. They like that. I don't want a woman that's been run through like that. Because I don't see no difference between somebody that did that with a woman or somebody that did that with a man. Or is a woman that accepted and a man that accepted. Right? For me, that's not how the Most High wanted us to do them things. We're supposed to create children. Right? And a lot of dudes are doing that because they are so worn. Remember, we're dealing with people that are so far away from virginity is ridiculous because they think that they have the same standard as men. Right? They have the same standard of men. But that's not the case. And as soon as they realize that, or the ones that realize that, they might be able to be fixed, but it depends on how worn out they are, how many children they have by the time they realize. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. Right. We need to start looking at women for purpose. Right. We need to get out of this pleasure thing. We need to. Well, hold on. I'll get to that in a minute. Young boy, what's up, young boy 24? So a wise woman builds her house while a foolish tears it down by her own efforts. And this is why I said there's a lot of foolishness going in. We're not supposed to get a marriage license. We're not supposed to be in this system any way, shape, form, or fashion. That's why I don't vote. I look to the Most High to guide me. Here we go. Brother JJ, a beautiful woman lacking modesty and discretion is like fine gold ring in a pig's snout. And there it is, right there. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. So this is a very dangerous times for the Afro man to even have words. What's up, Cortez? For Afro men to even have words, right? Our speech is being taken away. Our lives have been taken. Our careers are being taken. Our money is being taken. Right. And this is why as soon as I meet a quarrelsome one, I don't have nothing to do with them. Right, young boy 24. This is it. They tried to replace, because here's the thing, in the Old Testament, we didn't go to the government to get permission to take a wife. You went to the father's house if she was a virgin. If she wasn't, it was an agreement between the man and the woman. Well, no, the picture is of Caesar Borgia, but it was Leonardo that did the picture, and it was by the Pope during that time in history. So the picture is of Cesar Borgia, as done by Da Vinci, who was the lover of Cesar Borgia. Right. Well, it's even worse than that. Everything we need to know has already been written in our hearts. We know good from evil. This is why a lot of people value us. The Afro man understands inherently righteous and unrighteous in a way that other people do not, which is why they need written laws. Right? We should never need written laws, because the laws of nature, like in the commandments, are written in our hearts. Well, it isn't that they're it isn't just power hungry. We're looking at vanity. It's the same way the serpent got after Eve and was able to deceive her, and she lied up with the serpent and learned the manipulation and all that stuff. And so they're lying up. The other serpent is now our government systems, right? And so the reason why stuff got written down, because we started to forget who we were as a result of mixing our culture with other people's culture. And when we get back into First Samuel, that's what got us in trouble in the first place. All right. So let me get back to this real quick. It tells us we are not to learn to follow the abominable practice of those nations. There should not be found among you anyone who burns a son or daughter as an offering, and now is sterile. We call it abortion now. Anyone who practices divination or tells fortunes or interprets omens, or sorcerer or charmer or medium or necromancer, one who speaks with the dead, or one who inquires of the dead, or for whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord. Abomination to the Lord, to Jehovah, an abomination. And because these abominations, um, the Most High is driving them out before you, you shall be blameless. All right. And so, again, again, because they decided to be disobedient and leave their protection, the wisdom, they're searching for some spirituality that isn't there for them, right? I wanted to get into this real quick. I want y'all to look at this real quick. When I was talking about the divorce rate, right? The black woman has the highest divorce rate of anybody. She has the highest divorce rate of the black man. She has a higher divorce rate than the black man. So the black females divorce at 24.5% and the black males at 22.6. We know that the black women with the degrees initiate and remember how they do it is usually 10% higher than the national average, right? So basically, the B Dub divorces at over 70, initiates divorce way over 70%, right? Way over 90% when they have a degree. And hardly at any time is it because of infidelity. It's because of boredom, lack of duty. They feel like they could do better somewhere else. Monkey branches. All right. The black woman is the only group that has a higher divorce rate than marriage rate. All right. Meaning that statistically, if we want a better outcome, those are the ones that we should avoid marrying. But because of our ignorance, and we don't follow the Most High either, for the most part, we'll keep uniting with those who are causing us the harm. Oh, I keep telling y'all about Brazilian women. The the Afro-Brazilian is following the B-Dub. This is why brothers who are having successful relationships in Brazil, you will come to find out is not with an Afro-Brazilian. Very rarely do you find that brothers found an Afro-Brazilian, especially one from Rio. All right. You might have better luck maybe in Salvador Bahia or like Fortaleza or something like that. Right, because they're following her lead. This is how you know this. Look at the top of their head, especially in Africa. If they're putting weave on top of their head, that means they're following the West, and I would leave them alone. I trust the African women that wear their own hair, whether it's short, long, I don't care. I think they're all beautiful until they put that weave and that orange makeup, that orange. Y'all know the makeup I'm talking about, right? And so basically it comes into this. All right. And I'm going to pause it right here for a minute so that people can read it. Right. The Most High isn't playing with us or to be dubbed. And what I mean by with us is a lot of dudes are getting caught up because they are not heeding the warnings. They're not paying attention to the scripture or anything like that. Right? They're not doing any of that. What these dudes are doing is they're trying to say, oh, we're trying to fix this because it'll fix the community. No, it won't. All right. And those who, if anybody that would like to join in now, and like to add, and that has some more stuff to add, you can join in and add now, right? But no, it won't fix the community. All right. And it won't fix the community because you're not calling it out. You're giving it cover. And when you give wickedness cover and say, well, everybody's doing wicked, all right, then nothing gets fixed. Just because everybody's doing it, don't make it right for you to do. Right. And so that's where we are. And so here's the thing. This is the reason why First Samuel is so First Samuel, the 8th verse, it is so important, right? It is so important that we do not follow these systems because these systems do not belong to the Most High. It isn't what He wanted us to follow. We were never supposed to have kings. When they said, "Give us a king to rule over us," First Samuel said, "This is evil in in the sight of the Most High," because it is, right. And so, what's happening? I'm gonna see if they updated this on my thing. So, what's happening is that let's see, First Samuel 8. Okay, yes. All right, I got it. Here, let me just copy this real quick. And I'm gonna put it in a thing. Okay, let me put this up in here. Okay, first let me do this. All right, so for those that want to join in and have this discussion in the panel, there that is. All right, so where am I? Right, and this is what a lot of them are doing in Brazil. A lot of the B dubs in Brazil, they're gone. They're gone. But the reason why people like Brazil so much is so many of the other women, the Morano and the rest of them, um, brothers have a chance with them, right? Not so much with the B dub. Okay, so here we go, right? And this is with the actual names replaced and stuff, right? And and First Samuel 8 and 6. But the word was evil in the eyes of Sam when they said, "Give us a sovereign to rule us." All right, so that was evil. Why? Because the Most High was already ruling, right? And so basically, this is the nature of what we've become. This is the nature as to what we become as a community. But we're not really a community either. How can you say you're a community, right? How can you say you're a community when half of the community don't want you there. Let that sink in for a second. So there is no Black community. All right, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, man? It's an honor to join the panel with you. It's good to hear from you again. I'm glad you're doing okay. I just wanted to point out some scriptures I put in the chat. Well, in
Mm-hmm.
particular, this quote I put in the chat, and I won't forget it. It's like somebody branded my mind, my soul with this. I know it. God put it on my mind. Let me go ahead and quote it. A non-virtuous woman has about as much value as a wooden penny at best and detrimental at worst.
Mm,
I was sitting on my
mm.
bed of all places, and that thought came to me one morning.
And here's the thing. Let me explain something. When the Most High called a man righteous, it wasn't because he never did anything wrong. It was that when he did wrong, he called it wrong. Because he did, it wasn't right because he did it. He said it's wrong if the other man do it, and it's also wrong that I do it. A
Right,
virtuous woman will understand that if that righteousness or her virtue comes from understanding that when she's wrong, and she takes accountability for when she's wrong. She knows how to apologize. She knows how to want things to be right with her family, with her husband. She will follow the lead of her husband. She will not misteach her daughters. She will want her daughters to be better than her. We don't have that. We have women intentionally destroying their daughters out of jealousy, hoping that they can get the men who are really attracted to their daughters because of their youth and stuff, and nobody wants a run through woman, right? So
right,
if they're not a virgin, then how far from virginity are they? Because the further away from virginity they are, the less value they have to a righteous man. And
yep,
really, a righteous man don't he wants a virgin, somebody that's not been on the block with some other dude, unless she's a widow. Unless she's a widow, that's it. She can and the
yep,
divorce. She could be divorced. She can't be divorced like 5, 6 times, but 5, 6 times a woman that is divorced in scripture cannot go back to the husband she's divorced from once she gets with the next man,
right.
right?
And,
So
and,
yeah,
and, and
that makes sense what you said about but there's no virtue in them anymore.
and let me say this: a woman to do that to her daughters, that's witchcraft too.
Exactly. Remember, these women are sacrificing their children through abortion,
Sending them to Molech.
sending them to Molech. They are also training their daughters to be wicked, manipulative, teaching them witchcraft. Right? When we think witchcraft, we're thinking about some people running out in the woods and stuff, and they're doing that too. But understand this: in that they're not following African traditions. All right, they're making stuff up on the fly, not knowing what they're doing, and they're following the Caucasian women again. But the Caucasian women's going to start leaving that stuff alone as these spirits starts to make them disappear because they're messing with these unfamiliar spirits. They're
Yep,
really messing with they really have no idea what they're messing with. And as more and more Afro men wake up and leave them alone, they're going to be out there on that island by themselves.
like sitting ducks. And it was something. It slipped my mind, but go ahead. I'll be right back too. I'm on mute until I come back.
Okay. And anybody else that want to jump in? Hold on, let me see. Anybody else want to jump in? The StreamYard, all you gotta do is click on this link that's up in here, right between Cortez Smith and Cortez Smith. Right between his comments. All right. And so basically, so we're dealing with a lost cause, right? Now, let's get into this thing real quick. So I can show you how lost the cause is. All right. So all these false narratives, that they're trying to come up with about how, oh, let me invite who this is. Hey, what's up, King Groove? That's King Groove.
Hey,
All right.
man.
What's going on?
Hey,
Here,
what's happening, brother?
Let me put this on full screen real quick.
All right.
All right, y'all look at that. Right? They want to believe that nobody's that they're so close with the Caucasian men. All right. And you hear this all over TikTok, Facebook. Oh, and you hear the white guys say it, but they're all lying. Right? The least divorced. All right. It says in 2021, the black males experienced the highest first divorce rate. At black females divorcing at 24.5 and black males divorcing at 22.6. And so basically, when you look at that 22.6, that's mostly the dudes that's married to black females. Mm-hmm. Right? And when you look at that 24.5, remember about 7% of B-dubs are married to Caucasians. So that's those getting divorced. All right. So when you really look at it, the Afro men is getting the black woman is divorcing the Afro man more than the Caucasian woman or Hispanic woman. As a matter of fact, the Afro man has a very successful rate of marriage if he marries a Latino woman.
I want me a Latino woman.
All right, they're more successful than the Caucasian Afro men. They're more successful than the black woman, right? But they're not. They're married to. Don't get it twisted. They're married to the black woman at 85%, right? And so basically, that's where all his divorces come from. Now, Asian males and Asian females have the lowest first divorce rate at 7.7 and 8.3. So it is not the white man, black woman. As a matter of fact, they divorce very high. The only difference in how this meet out, and y'all might notice this, all the women that have money that was black that married a Caucasian, the Caucasian man ended up with the children and ended up with spousal support and ended up with spousal support and child support, to the point you got a lot of these B-dubs with money saying it's not, child support is not fair, like Holly Berry. Look at the women who had married the Caucasian man, got divorced, and look who has the children. And look who's getting the money, and look who's getting the spousal support. You see this all over the media. All right. And so that's basically it, right? And so basically, the highest divorce rate is black women and black men, where the black women initiates divorces, right? But the black men divorce at a lower rate than black women. All right. And that's because they're usually married to women in other communities. Now, black women are the only ones with a higher divorce rate than a marriage rate. They're the only one that has a higher divorce rate than a marriage rate. All right. So that's the truth of it.
I thought about that thought. I forgot. I wanted to quote something that's also shared in the chat. Uh, Exodus 22:18. I suffer not a witch to live.
Mm-hmm.
And I could, and when I'm in public, I've been driving trucks. I got my CDL in 2003, January 2003. I got a job in the next month in February. And since
Okay.
then, I watched society crumble. Like, I'll give you a description of what I compare it to. It's like watching skyscrapers fall in a powerful earthquake. But it wasn't all at once.
Mm.
Over the years that I've seen this decline from diligence of people doing what's right, and the wickedness has just been filtering in over the years, and things have gotten worse progressively over time. And I see a lot of trends that wasn't popular back then as they are now. And
Right.
bonnets on these chicken heads be wearing in public like they just got out of the bed, wearing pajamas in public, all that junk.
McGill Gill says, and they're becoming more and more isolated.
Talking about the women,
Be-
well,
yeah,
yeah.
the B dubs, they're becoming more and more isolated behind the stuff that you're saying.
Hmm.
Unrepentant, they will not repent. Right?
Can you hear me? You kind of reverbing a little bit, Afro.
It will. Yeah. Oh, the Afrotech and overseas. Oh, okay. I'm hearing their complaint. Black men ignore them at Afrotech. Right. Here's the thing. And so they're running behind the brothers that's leaving them alone by going overseas. Right.
Hmm.
And the other thing is overseas, nobody is checking for them like that. Now they might get with them because they're real easy for them overseas because the B Dub will give it up just to throw it up, try to throw it up in the brother's face. Like, look, I can do what you do too, but you can't do what I do. You paid, right? But that's not your job to pay to go over there and date somebody and pay for his date and pay for his stuff and stuff like that. And so they're literally doing what they're paying other men to date them, right? That's out of that's but and they're being run through, right? To the point where they're disrespected everywhere, especially behind the porta potty thing.
About over in what you call it, Dubai, where they getting
Uh-huh.
brownies with free lemonade. I
Right.
got jokes.
And so did you have anything, King Groove?
Yeah, proof of what you're talking about now be the whole passport, you know what I'm saying, bros movement really has them shook. They're upset because like anybody's ever watched that Kendra G show, there's been
Mm-hmm.
probably at least 20 of them in the past maybe 2 to 3 months that have tried to come back for a follow up on her show and say, look, I's married now. I's married now. But each
Mm-hmm.
time it's some big Amistad looking dude from either the Caribbean or East Africa or somewhere that doesn't know anything about the culture. He needed a green card. So You put your whole face up on the show, and some of these women had been on the show 2 or 3 times. Remember, she had to recently stop them from going on her show multiple times. Like, look, there's a limit of 3. That's it. Because they would keep coming back and back, posting their Instagram, getting on her new dating site, and still no man would want them. But nobody wants a 200-pound woman with a lot of weave and 4 kids by 17 baby daddies.
I got a
Mm-hmm.
joke about them big women. Well, if they go to the seashore and wait for high tide, they can swim home.
So
Mm.
can a walrus.
But anyway, yeah, we ain't gonna hold on. We gonna slow those down. But anyway, but yeah, so we understand the big back, right? And so the other thing is they leave their children because here's the thing. What's not suitable for us is not also not suitable for dudes that really do have a culture of women having a lot more couth and a lot more respect for themselves and men, like even over in Africa. Like they ain't playing that in their culture. And that's why a lot of them are getting divorced over there too. They're losing.
Very true. How is it that you won't take a brother that works at the tire center at Walmart, but you'll go pay $10,000 to fly some brother over here from Aruba or Jamaica or from Senegal? Why?
Because in their we talked about it in their vanity. All right, in their vanity, they want to throw things up in the Afro man's face because he's so successful, and it's the "I can do it too" kind of mantra that they have going on. Remember, but what if the man do it? What about the man? All right, you're always worried. What about the man instead of how to conduct yourself as a good woman? And so, because of that, they're being left behind by everyone across the globe, right? And now, even the Caucasians in the US, the Caucasian woman in the US, she is waking up and really realizing the value of a man. And here's the deep part. Here is the deep part. Yeah, Western black women are losing their lives in Africa because nobody is tolerating their mouth, that mentality, or anything like that. And the thing is, and what makes it deeper yet is they can't even voice that and talk about it and put that on the radar. And the reason why they can't put that on the radar is because of how much they rejoiced over Afro men like getting in trouble in Colombia, right? And all the rest of that stuff. And so now when it's happening to them, they can't put it on the radar. They can't speak of it. They could, but the pride won't allow them to say what's actually happening to them. So it is a phenomenon that is just passing under the bridge unnoticed,
You know,
right?
Nabi, I just want to give you a testimony, brother. Every time I talk to these guys who try to say that, the passport dudes are stupid or they ain't really getting no attention from women over there. I bring up you and several others that I know that have been going over there for years, way before the passport bros movement, and was having success and not having to pay nothing for a beautiful, attractive woman to submit to you, and sometimes multiple. And I said, brother, you're supposed to go where you're appreciated. Y'all don't understand. You're so brainwashed by this American society and these black women that you have to be treated like trash. You don't. This is a big planet. You got a passport, you got planes, a boat, get it cracking.
Right. Now here's the other thing too. Um Everybody pays for it. I buy shoes, but I like paying. I like buying perfume. Like I was just at, hey, can you bring some perfume, some tennis? And it don't have to be expensive stuff. It's appreciated. What you do is appreciated, right? So what you do for them is appreciated. And that's what we're not used to. Well, I'm not going to get this. Oh, what kind of tennis shoes are this? Is this now? There's a particular color that, and this is a woman I used to talk to, but I still get her and her mom's stuff simply because our relationship ended amicably, right? And I like doing stuff for them, right? Because they always show me kindness when I come. They like, come on over. I'll put it this way: if it wasn't for the things I need, like the weight room and stuff like that, I will always have a place to stay there, right? But there's things that I like. I need a place to work out. I need certain things that they don't have at their house, obviously, because the houses are small. You ain't gonna put no gym up in there, right? But here's the thing. I go over there. The mom makes sure they cook, and here's the, and so the thing is, and here's the thing, and this is the other thing women don't understand. I don't mind sharing my finances with a woman that gives me respect. See, you're going to pay for it if we're being real. That's why we're making the money.
Right.
See, remember, men make money to be able to take care of a woman. So that's paying for it.
Yep.
There you go.
Let me slip
But
in and
that's
say
what
something.
that's why we make the money. All right. A dude that's not making money to take care of family, paying for family, right? A dude that's not, then what is he doing? All right, he
It
has no
certainly makes sense.
purpose. He has no purpose, or but everybody with a person. Charleston White, he paying for it. He bought his daughter a car, so he paying. No, we like doing that. We like we like doing stuff for the people we care about. This is the difference. We like doing stuff for the people we care about. All right, we will sacrifice to make those we care about have joy. We don't get that in return in the United States.
Let me
We
slip in.
understand the B dub will destroy the family, the community, and everything else for their happiness, and the Afro man will sacrifice his happiness to bring joy to the rest of us because that gives him joy. Look at what I did, man. I made them happy. I'm glad. Why? Because we're made in the image of the Most High. And people don't understand what that means. We feel about making our family happy how the Most High feels about us having joy in his presence, having joy in his creation.
That's what the scripture says. The Lord delights in the joy of his servants.
Right. And likewise, because we're made in his image, the man is, we delight in the joy of our family.
What
There's
did
a there's
Sarah call?
there's
Sarah called Abraham, my Lord. Let me wash your feet, my Lord.
now
So
there's
you
a
ain't
flip
going
side. There's a
go
flip
ahead.
side of that too. Let me say this. He also said, okay, in the toward the wicked, he rejoiced in their destruction as well. He's
Hmm.
gonna destroy them and rejoice in it. Now
Amen.
this is what I was about to
Right,
say
because it
earlier.
preserves it will preserve the righteous. Remember, this is all about him making the righteous happy. And if the wicked is causing harm to the righteous and he destroys the wicked, it will bring joy to the righteous.
Yep. And then let me say this about the women. See, I noticed since I got into truck driving in 2003, I've seen a lot more women, and they copy. They try to copy everything we do, just like other
Hmm.
races. So it's like they're another race to us, our own women. And the thing about them, they have to learn harder than it takes them longer to learn that what we can learn. Like some of us, like on the go. I learn on the go. I think on the go. And if you can think on the go, you're more likely to be able to adapt to any environment in the world that you go. And it's harder for
Hmm.
those who don't think like that. You have to be, see, in trucking, you have to be, that's what I do for a living. I drive truck. And
Uh-huh.
you have to be ready for anything in a moment's notice in any direction. You
Right.
have to have that mindset. And then I've delivered in Skid Row neighborhoods, slums, ghetto areas, dangerous areas, like Blue Island, Illinois. That's like a subdivision of Chicago. That's one of the dangerous areas. I can tell going through there, a lot of people, the way they dress and act. I've seen these women all dressed ghetto, bonnets,
Mm-hmm.
and jump. I'm like, oh, where am I at? Low bridge is one of the things I bring up now that I mentioned it. But yeah, I'm experiencing being able to adapt to wherever I go. I've been all over the United States driving truck. I drove truck in Canada, but I've been to Mexico visiting on my own time and dime just for
Right.
kicks and giggles. But I did business driving trucks in Canada, and the environment when it's cold up there is different, dry
Mm-hmm.
cold, and versus damp cold here. You can get sick easier here down where I live in Arkansas because we have like a mixture of humid air and cold air, all that stuff. We have more of an extreme. We get a little of everything. They say if you don't like the weather, stay here long enough and it change. That's the saying about the weather here.
Well,
So
having traveled all over, and I know Nabi's been all over the world. It's just funny that only Black American men are just supposed to accept anything from our so-called females. Y'all peep
Right.
that?
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
And no other
there's no
culture men
Lizzo. That's what I'm saying. There's no Lizzo in anybody else's culture. Just
no.
us.
No.
you're
There's
right.
no, and they don't play that loudmouth stuff either in these other cultures. Those women kind of get left alone. And then you got a serious single women problem in Brazil when it comes to the Afro Brazilian. It is very serious. And then I put up a post that even in their spirituality, that's supposed to be close to Africa, is usually led by a Caucasian man. And I was like, y'all are always bowing down and kissing the feet of a Caucasian man, even in a religion that's supposed to be African. And I was like, that's not African. And so, but you see it, and so that's why you see a lot of brothers when they go there and they hook up with somebody, even in the Brazilian brothers, they is going to not be very few. I've seen some Afro Brazilian couples, but they've not been from Rio. I can
The
say
white
that.
man, the white man is
Huh?
Esau, and his descendants is Edomites. Edom.
Mm,
Esau mean wasting away. Edom mean red. See, we had Jacob and Esau in the belly of Abraham's wife's womb, I think, and it was two
uh-huh.
nations. And Esau come out first. He was red all over.
Uh-huh. But
Esau mean
here's the thing. Okay, Esau, Edomites. We really don't know
Debatable.
where they come from, if we're
Debatable.
going to be honest.
A little
That's
bit.
we. I mean, really, they are the mystery of the world. They are literally the mystery of the world. I mean, that's good speculation, but we
no, that's
don't
in the Bible. That's in the
because
Bible.
we no we. I know that's in the Bible, but the it doesn't call the what we know as the Caucasian um from the Caucasus Mountain. That's from a different mountain than the mountains that they're speaking of. Being a geologist, having been a geologist or study
Right.
geology, these are two different mountain things. Unless those people went, the mystery is, and this is why I say we know one because Esau's Esau's seed was wiped out by the Most High if you read carefully, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he completely wiped out because he went against his brother even when the Most High told him not to. So the Most High wiped him and his seed out completely. All right. And so, and a lot of people, when we go back and read that, so then you have to ask yourself, just run through Afro Brazilian women or treat them. Yes, they're not married. They're not. Most of them are not married. All right. Um, but so when you really go look at it, they are a mystery and people ask and stuff, and especially because of the nature of them is to take and destroy when they can't get it.
I think
A whole
I think Esau. Oh, I mean the Caucasians
Nephilim.
coming.
I'm thinking more Nephilim related than.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story right there. Yes, sir.
Yeah. But I'm thinking more Nephilim related than.
This thought come to my mind. See, the Lord told our people not to mix with certain races and stuff and don't follow their customs. I think he might have been talking about, if he wasn't talking about Esau and the Edomites, he was talking about the Caucasian because they was crawling.
No, he was not. I'll go over that a lot of times. It's in Deuteronomy and Ezra. All the communities he told us not to mess with or mate with are all African. And he gives a specific reason why, which means that the reason that he gave for not messing with those 7 nations in Deuteronomy and 9 in Ezra is specifically because, or vice versa, it could be not, but whatever. All these nations, he said, not the Perizzite, Zebusite,
Jebusites. Yeah.
Mithrites, are these are all black nations, and it was because and I put the scripture up in Deuteronomy after that. It was because they were involved in abominations, sacrificing of children unto Moloch, and he says anybody that practice these divination and witchcraft, all right, we are not to intermarry with or have relationship. We are not to give our sons or daughters to. And they were all black nations, right? And so when you look at the reasons, because he gave specific reason why, because they practice witchcraft and divination. Anybody that practices uh-huh, anybody that practices witchcraft, divination, which means manipulation, divination, and the sacrificing of children, we are not supposed to intermarry with.
Margaret
Because
Sanger.
if you look at it though from a biblical aspect in Judges, Samson got with Philistine women, and it wasn't just him doing it. The scripture says it was the Lord that made Samson desire those Philistine women. Philistine women would be your modern day Europeans, maybe Turkish, maybe Romans, whatever.
I would
So
go more
those
with Turkish.
Right, but well, you've seen them. Some of them a lot of them can pass for white. The island of Cyprus,
The
so you
Uh-huh.
got a lot of
Remember,
women.
though, hold on, and this is where we're getting to that. The island of Cyprus and all of those at the time that Samson and all of them were getting it on and stuff like that, the world was more melanated, way more melanated than what we got now.
Right,
You know what I mean? And that is the big mystery. It was way more. What's up, Ace? It was way more melanated than what we got now. The other thing, right? The Philistines. Let me go back and look at that. Let me go back and pull it up. All right. So the Philistines, I don't know that they were in there like that. Hold on. So let's go to Deuteronomy. What did I say? It's either 7 or 9. Nine
You said
nations great. Is it? I usually mix it up. Is Deuteronomy 7 or in Ezra 9, or is Deuteronomy 9 and Ezra 7? Okay, hold on. Wait. The nations greater than strong is it to dwell on, and then the people that I'm gonna. Okay, let me go to 7.
what about the fact that
So it's Deuteronomy 7 and 1, and it's going to be Ezra 9 and 1. So here's all the nations in Deuteronomy 7 and 1, and Ezra speaks of it again. Okay, I'm gonna put this up in here. So Ezra speaks of it again. All right. So Cortez. Ah, and this, yeah. Cortez, I can agree with that in practice. Yeah, the Philistines are from Ham. Okay, now here's the thing. So here's all the people. When your ally brings you into the land which y'all go past, he shall clear away many nations before you. The Hittites, Girgashites,
Jebusites,
Amorites, Canaanites. These are all black.
Hamites.
Perites, Hawites, Jebusites, 7 nations greater than you. All right, and in Ezra, so Ezra 9.
Well, if we're one of the 12 tribes, we're Shem.
Hold on. Repeat that.
My understanding, if we are one of the 12 tribes of Israel, we're of Shem. Shemitic.
It's more like we're Judah.
Yeah, but still
But then
Shem.
again,
If I may
oh, okay,
interject, though,
yeah. Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying.
if I may interject, the descendants of Jem also settled with the tribes of Judah. So technically, they're
Yeah,
one of the.
yeah. Right. That's why I said, yeah. I see what he got it. And who is that interjecting?
That will be me.
Okay, Ace.
Yes.
Okay,
Ace.
yeah. Okay, so let's see. So this is Ezra. So there are those, and Ezra named some of the same ones. People saying the priest is the Levites and stuff, right? So again, it's going to be the Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, Amorites, Moabites, Mizrite, Mithrites,
Ishmaelite.
Amorites. No, ain't no Ishmaelites. Ishmael's seed was wiped out.
Okay.
All right. So if you go back and read after, so when
Moabites is Chinese, Asian, I think.
no, they're all black.
Yeah,
These are all black.
the original Asian.
Original. These are the original people. These are all black people. Now, what they turned into as time went
Same thing.
on. Yeah,
Whitewash.
as time went on, that's another story.
The
You see what I
Moabites
mean?
and the Ammonites are descendants of Lot, though.
Hmm.
That came from him sleeping with his 2 daughters when they got him drunk in the cave. And that's in the scripture. That's in Judges 19. That'll tell you that's
Okay.
where they came from.
Okay. That's interesting.
See what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Judges 19 at the end. It'll definitely tell you that that's where they. So, again, people talk about a lot of these BAWs acting a fool at Walmart and other places, and they're talking about genetic, people messing around, incest, and stuff like that. So that was going on there. That might have been why those people were enemies of God's people, because their
Mm-hmm.
lineage was polluted. You know what I mean? Not supposed to
Yep.
be getting with even, breeding dogs, bulldogs, Rottweilers. You're not supposed to breed dads with daughters and such. And it's wrong. It makes the people or the animals come out crazy and deformed.
Right. And it has that in Deuteronomy and also in Leviticus where it talks about hold on. Let's break this down. It gets into directly the sin of Ham and why the Most High cursed Canaan and not all of the descendants of Ham.
Hmm.
Okay? And to understand what Ham did, you would have to go and read the commandments in Levi, the book of Levi, right? And the book of Levi is expressly say that when people look at, first of all, it was kind of not clear the way it was translated, but when you translate it and uncover thy nakedness, right?
Yeah.
When you look at uncovering thy nakedness, it means incest. All
That kind
right,
of
huh?
Wow.
And I'm gonna get to it real quick. And so laws against eating blood. Um,
what about the 12
let me
tribes?
see. Okay, no, I'm gonna do this like this. All right, so I'm gonna pull it up like this.
I got a question. Is
Mm-hmm.
it legal for us to mix with, okay, as long as we're mixing with women within the 12 tribes, is that legal for us to mix with women outside our own race? I don't want to mix, me
Yeah,
personally.
it's
Okay.
legal because remember the Most High punished. Who did he punish? He punished somebody for having a problem with who Moses got with,
Hmm.
right? Because that woman was not part of the Israel. They Canaan and walking their do my right. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put it up like this. Because the Most High is like really clear about this.
Hmm. All right, let me mute.
Okay. All right. So this is Leviticus, right? And so to understand what um, Ham did and why the Most High cursed Canaan, I understand this because a lot of things that I was finding out in the laboratory when I was working in the laboratory, especially with the blood donation and in blood bank and stuff like that. When I read this, it made a whole lot of sense to me, right? Now, here we go. Speak to the children of Israel, say to them, I am Yahweh, your Elohim. Um, do not do as they do in the land of Mizraim, where you dwell, and do not do as they do in the land of Canaan, where I am bringing you, and do not walk in their laws. Do my right rulings and guard thy laws and walk in them. I am Yahweh, your Elohim, and you shall guard my laws. Right? Now, okay. My right rulings, which a man does and lives by them. I am Yahweh. No one is to approach any one of his own flesh to uncover his nakedness. Y'all get it?
Yeah.
Are y'all having some understanding, right? What did Ham do? He looked upon his father's nakedness, what they should have written or how it should have been. And remember, the way they translate these things, they try to hide stuff, but we know what he did. He slept with his mother. And this is why Canaan was cursed, because that's the child that relationship produced. And that's why Canaan was the only one that was cursed and not any of the rest of Ham's offspring, because the rest of his offspring was not that in a relationship with his mother. How do we know he slept with his mother? By these commandments. The nakedness of your father or the nakedness of your mother you do not uncover. She is your mother. you do not uncover her nakedness.
No.
See what I mean?
Yep.
The nakedness of your father's wife, you do not uncover. It is your father's nakedness, the nakedness of your sister, the daughter of your father, or the daughter of your mother, whether born at home or elsewhere, their nakedness you do not uncover. The Most High is very clear about this.
Meaning you don't touch them. Period.
No, meaning you don't sleep with them.
That's right. You don't touch them at all.
Oh, you could pat them on the back. Hey, good job, but you're not supposed to have uh Hercules with um you know, and this is and it goes on down all of this stuff, right? And so basically, so the rules are coming out like this, who we can be with. We literally cannot be with the B dub and should not lay up with the modern B dub because many of them are engaged in the witchcraft, right?
Mm.
And we
Yep.
know this
They're lost
by,
causes.
huh?
Like you said earlier, they're lost causes.
Right. And so if they're engaged in that, that makes them off limits to us. That's just like all the rest of the communities that the Most High said don't mess with. Because he said, don't mess with these communities because they're engaged in abominations, witchcraft. If a woman has had an abortion, we're supposed to leave it because that's sacrifice to Moloch.
It's
Yep.
getting pretty,
20 million. 20
go
million
Think
ahead.
think
about it.
Margaret
And
Sanger.
that's why we're good when we leave and go overseas and pick women because their countries don't believe in doing that.
Right.
All right.
No,
And
there's a,
so
go ahead.
good. I was getting ready to say, and so that's our out. And with the Biden's bringing all the women from south of the border up here, that can be options too. But the B Dubs are no longer options for us because they've engaged in all of this stuff that now eliminates them from our sphere. Our sphere.
Can I
They
speak on something I mentioned in the chat before I forget? I
go
Go
want
ahead.
to
ahead.
vocalize, whatever I can, I put in the chat. Uh, the red flags I mentioned that I used to ignore, man, I used to be a hell of a sip. I ain't gonna lie. And I look at and then the times have changed, and I've seen so much. I've had exes try to get back in my life. Like I said, I rejected them like bad produce. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants bad produce, do they? Why do we want a
Nope.
bad
Mm-mm.
woman? Okay, now uh, the red flags: unnatural hair color, nose rings,
Mm-hmm.
tongue and lip rings, any type of body
Tattoos.
piercing, tattoos, bonnets, unkept hair, all that stuff, pajamas in public. I can't stand it. If they have kids, unless they're widowed, but I really don't want to deal with a woman without kids. I'm 45, no kids, never been married, no STDs, no felonies. I got a passport. I don't want to be unequally yoked. Simple as that. I don't ignore the red flags I used to ignore anymore. When you learn better,
Mm-mm.
you do better. I let my plane, I mute.
Uh-huh. And so yeah, so when we look at this, right, the nakedness of your father's brother you do not uncover, approach his wife, she is your aunt. This is about incest, right?
There's
And
a, I was trying to just give a stat. There's a new stat that came out a few years ago. Some of the original brothers of the so-called manosphere, before everything got all popularized, had looked it up, and it was actually verified that something like damn near 50% of these children that are being born out of wedlock by these B dubs are being sired by their oldest living male child. That's disgusting. So you wonder
hold
why
on.
you keep seeing these videos. You think about it. When we
Son
were in school,
husbands.
yeah, when we right,
Remember I
when
saw
we
when I remember I brought out the son, remember I started calling them, now it became popular, but remember like way back 2013 I called them son husbands.
this is I mean it's real because I tell you something. And if you live around them in the past 10 years, you see there's all these younger children, and then they have older children, and one of the older male children is probably zesty. And you're wondering, well, if there's never a man coming around and they don't have a boyfriend, where are these kids coming from? Not to mention, these children do not seem overly smart. You see, when they get into altercations with the Walmart loss prevention or with police, they get to acting crazy. I mean, you'd be surrounded by 20 of the boys in blue, and you still acting a fool. It could be half of them brothers, you know what I'm saying? And you calling them racist. Like, I've seen instances where it was all brothers trying to take down a couple of ravenous BAWs. And it's like, okay, and they're still calling them racist. You try to take down the black woman. Like, wait a minute. These are all brother officers, probably former military, brothers with college degrees. So it's like, it ain't about race. It's about destroying the community. People don't want you going in their store tearing it up where people are afraid to shop. And that's what they don't realize. That's why people are moving to the
Remember,
suburbs.
they was complaining in Chicago about them shutting down Walmart. Why are they shutting down our Walmart? You kept robbing. Exactly what you're saying, bro. And then they complain when people want to shut down because they don't want to tolerate people disrespecting their stuff and their stores and stuff like that. And you can't teach them nothing. You can't say nothing to them and stuff. No, nobody want to play with that. That's why brothers are leaving.
Yep.
High homicide events. A lot of people doing the crimes are the slow side. Maybe
yes.
Yes.
Coach.
The simple mind.
Oh, here's the other thing.
Don't forget about CERN. CERN, every time they fire CERN, it seems like a wave of all these crimes go to popping out. Y'all pay attention to that. Really.
And here's the other thing too, that when we talk about the B-dubs, we are leaving out that a lot of them that are single moms that's pumping out these children. Remember, a lot of these children are coming out mixed. It isn't the black man creating all these children.
Nope.
We're creating most of them, and it's not the majority of Afro men. Here's the thing. So if 55% of black men do not have children,
and I'm a
30% to 36% are married and they're having their children, that leaves only 16% to produce all these children from these single mothers. Then all right, it's possible for them to create all these children, but then when you really look at the children that are being produced, you see a lot of mixed light-skinned children in there, and that's because a lot of these women are not only sleeping with this bottom 16%, but a lot of these Caucasians are coming through the communities, knocking these women up, and they get to leave with impunity. Do you know that the people paying the most child support is the Afro man?
I can believe that.
And the one that is the Afro men are the smallest population, and he is the one that is the most on child support. And that's because our women, whether they marry you, whether it's a marriage or not, and because they divorce at such a higher rate, all right, they are quick to put a brother on child support in a way that they would not do a Caucasian man who's popping out all these children too. And that's why a lot of these children aren't being taken care of, because the Afro man is not the only one knocking them up. There's 16% of them that's creating a bunch of children, like them three dudes that created 81 children, running through 46 different women, but then they were outdone by DJ Kid, Mr. Pope, who messed with 1,000 of them by himself, giving them the package.
Is white men spreading HIV?
Yeah, and so yeah.
That proves what you're saying to be true about what I said about the white men spreading HIV.
Be careful though. Be careful, but I don't know if we can say
that. Yeah, certain terms can get triggered and the algorithm get flagged. No. It's just just got a music like code or something.
Hold on. Let me teach y'all something. So in
Okay.
the laboratory, when it first came out, we used to call it HTLV3. So call it that, HTLV3. Um,
HTLV3. I got
yeah, formerly given them formerly known as HTLV3.
I call it
That
that hot box.
uh-huh. All right, so but no, that was his old lab name when like Hudson and all that stuff. So we used in the lab we used to call it HTLV3. So the thing formerly known as HTLV3, and that'll give you cover so that it'll teach people the history and the etymology of this of the other one too. Hey, what's up, Nesman?
You know, I'll tell you something. Also, in these southwestern states, it's not just the white, the ghost man. Why these kids are coming out so light? I've been seeing a whole lot of them brothers, the Latino brothers, that be posted up
Oh
in
yeah,
front of
is
Home
it? Yeah.
Depot. That they get, man, and I'm talking about some of those basehead BAWs. That's who they're getting with.
Uh-huh. But here's the thing. So when I say the Caucasians have been knocking them up, I consider Latinos the Caucasian because that's what Spain is.
I feel well. You know what? And that's true. A lot of them on the census claim Caucasian.
Yep, they do.
Show you right.
So
Let me throw
and
another
so
factor in there. The black women outnumber us, but the majority of them are getting babies more than it is black men.
right, exactly. And so
Damn.
like I said, 55% of brothers do not have children at all. All right. And so that's the majority of us. And 80% of B dubs are single moms, or 70, it's close to 70% now, right? They're single moms. And
Yep.
it isn't, hold on. And the big secret is many of them, it would be many more, but because of abortion, right? Because
Feminism.
they took the life um, of the child. It's the only reason they don't have one because they got knocked up and took the life. And so, and many of these children are from Caucasians, which would include the Latinos and stuff. And a few of, and many of them are from the thugs and dregs in the community,
I just thought
right?
about that. To add on to what you said,
Go
kind of
ahead.
in an indirect way. It occurred to me. I think feminism is a curse to these women that reject God, and they wake up and
Right.
wind up finding out when they get in their ages to where I'm 45. A woman my age, I don't want nothing to do with her. I want somebody in her maybe the late 20s to have, if I want to get married and have a baby or something, have a family. You know,
Uh
I don't
huh.
want no woman my age, no matter what race or culture she's from. Maybe if
And
they
I
health,
can't.
it might be health. Wait a minute, let me correct. They might be healthy. Their bodies might be in better shape. Where they less likely to have, you know,
The package.
complications.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that too. But I was saying complications with child pregnancy. Uh, in other countries, they're probably more healthy. They eat better. They don't have all this stuff in the food. And they ain't sleeping around as much as these women over here. The big they probably sleep around more than any other race of women over here. And they in the dark. These beat ups over here in the dark. They think they got the upper hand. That's how delusional and the big stupid that they really are. And the younger Gen Z women or whatever, the millennial women, I mean, is saying they've been fooled. They've been fooled to a point, but they know right from wrong too. Both to a certain age. They
Mm-hmm.
claim they claiming that they were taught to get an education, get a job. Okay, that's all fine and good. But what kind of job are you getting into? Are you planning on having a family? Does it take you 10 years to get you a good job? And then the degrees they get, they got, you know, uh, what you call that debt, school loan debt. They got that.
Right.
They got a CDL. I thought ahead. I didn't want to sit in no classroom for 4 years just to get some training for a job that I want to get paid. No, I got my CDL in 3 weeks.
let me say this too, because this is significant.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of these what's going on too is Ness or who's Cornelius. He says a lot of these Latino men love the B Dubs because as side chick, but they don't marry them, and
Yep.
that is so true. Um, because I am a witness to that, of a lot of them wanting to talk to certain ones that I know, but they already have a woman, and they understand this. They understand that the B Dub is aware that they have a woman, right? And so that gives them the pass. You see what I mean? Because the belief is that the B Dub is down with anything that anybody do except for what an Afro man does. But
They curse.
that's their
That's what I'm saying. Feminism is a curse. They divided them against us by the enemy. We're
No, the
this.
sad thing is a lot of these guys though that are so called getting them pregnant, whatnot, aren't even legal U.S. citizens. So when they married to Maria and Esmeralda, whatnot, they can't put them on child support. That's why they try to put them on us. But in essence, who are the babies that they're aborting? It's the black babies that are born from us because what? They don't want that, a baby that reminds them of them. They want a baby with what all they say, good hair,
good
light
hair. Yep.
skin, mixed. They all want the good hair baby. That's what they want.
Now here's the other thing too.
Self-hate.
A lot of times, a lot of and you got to the false paternity and stuff. So a lot of things is falling back on their head to where now the thing is believe no woman, because people are tired of being lied on, and they've seen men destroyed, and especially with what's his name that played Kang the Conqueror, and now the Marvel owes him an apology for believing a woman, right? And so now the mantra is believe no woman because they lie that well, and so people are getting tired of the lies. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna have to shut it down now because over here it
Oh,
is
so
way
soon.
past. Yeah, but I'm 3 hours ahead of y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm three
Yeah,
hours ahead of y'all.
I got 11:24 my time.
Good Lord.
Oh, dang. Hold on. Let me see what time it is my time.
I got 12:20 on 12:21 on mine, AM wise.
What state you in, brother?
I'm in the Dominican Republic.
No, the other brother. I know where you at. You up in DR.
Uh-huh.
I'm in Arkansas.
No,
If
the
you're
other
referring to
brother.
me, if you're referring to me, I'm in the Big Apple.
Oh, good Lord. Oh,
Okay.
you in Sodom and Gomorrah. Good Lord.
Woo, Lord of mercy.
Wowzers, Batman.
All right, y'all. But anyway, I'm gonna shut it down for now because tomorrow I gotta pack. Um, United and TSA they took stuff that they said I could bring. Man, it's a mess. But out of New York, I cannot stand flying out of New York because I that TSA, they broke up my stuff. They always break my stuff. I'm thinking it's the Dominicans. This is no, it's the people at Newark, and they break my stuff like my pots. They break pots. They broke glass. They break everything. And I'm like, are they doing this on purpose? I'm thinking like, is this a racist thing and stuff like that? Why they always no? I'm serious. All right, because every time
Damn.
you can't pick me out for a special screening all the time, a U.S. citizen that you know, and the only place that I get that treatment is when I'm flying out of Newark. All right, I'm like, something's up there,
At
right?
Logan,
No, Newark, EWR.
they try to steal your DNA, man.
Man, I don't know what it is, but they stole my ice maker. that TSA said I could bring, because I already took one to Brazil, and so I got one there that I could make for my knee treatment and stuff like that. So they stole my ice. They took my ice maker. They said, "Oh, we're going to classify it as that," even when it doesn't. When you look on the red sheet, when you got your stuff, and it says "Are you carrying any?" It allows for the ice maker, because the portable ice makers do not have any toxicity in it, and you plug it in. It doesn't have a battery or anything. It's a plug-in thing. It's an appliance,
That's in
and you can
somebody's
take them.
apartment.
And then they're like, "Oh well, somebody can make a judgment call," and then I was like, "Then you can judge me the money I paid for it."
Right.
You know?
Is there, wait a minute. Is there a way you can pack that to protect it better, or
No,
like
it was protected. It's because I put it. What I do is I have a tent roll from the military, and it's nothing but foam. And so when I put it in there, um, even if they tossed it, it wouldn't dent it. What they would do is mess it up internally, and I don't. And so I put a caution. Look, don't just so it's protected, right? And it's protected inside my duffel bag, and they know it. But they took it saying it's a hazard, but it's not a hazard. It was okayed by TSA and stuff. It's not a hazard. It don't have any toxins in it and stuff. And it's not and so it's an appliance that could fit in your duffel bag. So it's just a small portable ice maker. And so it's funny how it can go through TSA. And remember, it was a connecting flight. So the TSA in Houston checked it out. All right, and of course it's going to pass Houston because that's who I went through, and they said it was okay. Because we asked about it, we took it out. They looked at it. Well, the other one I had, we took it out. We looked at it. We looked at the instructions. We looked at with them, and they was like, "Oh yeah, this is good." So I've always taken it since. Only when I go through Newark do my stuff get busted up. Do my stuff get broken? They've broken every. Those tea
rent you a car,
makers.
get you a flight to another spot, and rent you a vehicle so you don't have to go through that. Then on a
No,
note,
I have to. No. It don't work like that because when I'm coming to the DR, it's a connecting flight because I'm coming from Texas,
I
so
mean,
it's a
can you get
connecting.
you a flight to like North Carolina and then drive up there?
No,
Or
why would I do that? That was no.
I
That would
know,
be
but you know,
ridiculous. They need to just take care of my stuff because if it goes through Houston TSA, all right, and if we already pre-checked it beforehand, and looked at how it's made, and this, that, and the other, because it is unusual. And so, no, it's a problem. Because remember, it's not just the ice maker. They break all my stuff.
damn.
They break all my stuff that was glass. You know
I had a
those
question, but let me.
those
I
hot
had a
water makers, those hot water that you plug in, and you can make tea, and you pour it in, and you make tea. I had a metal one,
what?
and they bent it. They broke a metal one, and I'm like, this
Damn.
has to be intentional.
Yeah, yeah, it is. That's what. Let me
And
make a
so I'm gonna
suggestion.
talk to them about it, because I've been emailing them, but when I
Wait,
get back, I'm gonna email them again because I believe this is intentional,
wait a
and
minute.
that I don't know who it is there, but it's
Wait a minute. I
intentional
know your
because
time is short. I got a suggestion, but I got a question to follow.
okay.
Uh, have you thought about making another? Uh, like, can you get a flight to another airport close by to where you're going?
No, it's coming here to the DR. It's the only trip, so they need to do it right. Period. Period. I
Okay.
should not have to go out of my way because you don't know how to do your job. And so I'm gonna start sending complaint after complaint and requesting that they pay me back for my stuff that they've been breaking.
Right.
You might have a
Basically.
Okay.
lawsuit on your hands, bro.
Yeah, you do. And
And if I
if they
find
don't do
out
nothing
it's
about that,
racism involved, and I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna ask them: is this a race? Is this racism involved or something like that? Because I fly here often, and almost every time they have broken my stuff. Almost every time I had something, they have broken my stuff. I have been. They had when they checked my bags. They put they leave can they bust over open powder stuff. They left shampoo open and stuff like that. And every time I got home, my bag is a mess. And so I think this is intentional. So
It
now that
is.
I'm in discussions with them, and I'm gonna start talking to them, I am going to ask them um, is
If
who
that
they
was
have
me, they
working there
wouldn't
because
like.
I
Wait a
believe
minute.
this is intentional.
If that was me, they wouldn't like me. No, they would not like me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm
tell
just
you a
starting to
story.
figure this stuff out. But anyway, but
No, let me tell you an
I'm
experience I
gonna
had
get
when
at them
I
once
had
I
a
get back.
question.
But I'm gonna deal with it once I get back to the United States. Right now,
Let
I'm
me
gonna
tell you
deal
an
with.
experience I had. Let me tell you an experience I had, and I got a question behind it. Okay, back in 2001, I drove my cousin, helped him drive up there. We wound up in Montana and all that stuff. We had a crazy trip. We had to get another vehicle and go up there because his Isuzu Trooper broke down. But we wound up in Fort Collins, Colorado. But we wound up getting up there. The folks we were going to came and picked us up from Fort Collins,
Mm-hmm.
Colorado to Kalispell, Montana. Then they wound up. See this guy, my cousin. He's with this white girl, but anyway, he had a child by her and they married. That's a good thing, I guess. Anyway, on my way back here to Arkansas, my suitcase. They switched buses on us at a gas station, and they wouldn't let us get nothing. And I had locks. Thank God I had locks on my suitcase because I had the double zipper so I can put that little old bitty lock on.
Mm-hmm.
And I threatened to sue them if they didn't bring my stuff home. And I got my stuff back. Everything was intact, thankfully. So yeah,
That's a good thing. I gotta ask you now, B.
put a
You
lock on
said,
your stuff. And
sorry.
then I got a question. What do you watch IUIC? And if you do, what do you think about them? IUIC Israel United in Christ. I watch them, and I think a lot of the stuff is on
I
point.
watch them, but they mislead people too. All major groups mislead people, and they do it to get the major groups. All
You
right,
got to be careful with
Bas-
them brothers.
you got to be careful with anybody that wants you to be a part of their group or collective whereby you have one leadership because that's not how the Most High appointed for us. We're appointed each man to his own house. Then if necessary because of an event or something else, then we come together or we come together on special holidays. But anything that's designed remotely like the church system that we have, it's not for us. So that's IUIC.
I
Because
mean,
remember, IUIC comes from ISUPK, right?
all that stuff is really, modeled after Catholicism. Brother Nathaniel is the Pope. It's the same thing.
Hmm.
Really? Oh my
But now, B,
goodness.
I just want to real quick before you go. Hey, so they knocked over your shampoo bottles?
No, they would open my stuff up like champ, and then they would put them back in the bag with everything open. One time I had syrup all over the place and all over my bag, and I'm like, wow, these people. And I'm up here, I'm wondering who's doing this stuff, and it's turning out it's the people at the airport. I thought it was here, the TSA here in the DR. No, now I'm finding out it's Newark because they did it again. And because I started putting stuff in plastic Ziploc bags. And
Mm-hmm.
so now, even with stuff that I have that is not open, they open it.
You know,
So
there's
say
only
I buy something
one.
from Walmart, right?
See, brother, there's only one kind of hair care product, shampoo or whatever, that they will not mess with at TSA, brother. You know what you got to do.
Just let your soul
Hey,
go.
Hey,
Oh shit.
get you a
All
lock,
right, y'all. I gotta go. I gotta go.
get you a lock to put on your stuff.
Oh shit.
It doesn't matter.
Get
They
the
got the
thing
TSA.
on.
It's TSA messing it up. So TSA has TSA locks.
Get your locks.
No, no, no. It's TSA. So it's TSA that's messing stuff up. It's not nobody else. So they're the ones that's opening stuff up and spreading them all over my bags.
That's why you got to
Whether
get
it's
your
locked or
lock.
not. And that's the other thing. They're losing my locks.
Hmm.
They are losing my locks.
Sounds kind
So
of shady to me. That's lawsuit, bro.
yeah,
Yep, I agree.
but I have to be able to pinpoint. I didn't know which one it was. I'm just figuring out it's the one in Newark. So I'm gonna talk to them though, because I'm gonna issue a lot of complaints about all the stuff that's been happening to my bags. But
They
anyway,
wouldn't.
I'll holler at y'all later.
They wouldn't like me. They wouldn't
Peace,
like
my
me if
brother.
I was in that situation. But I'll let you go. I love you.
They're
I hope
about
you.
to not. Once I get back, now that I got this, now that I figured this out, they ain't gonna like me. But anyway, I gotta go. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace, love, and soul. I might come back on tomorrow, or today, later on, around the same time. But I won't stay on as long because I'll be packing up and getting ready to go.
I
Um,
got
for those of yeah, for those of you that are here, if y'all like to help me out in what I'm doing for the communities, primarily Afro communities, in these places, my PayPal me and Cash App is in the description box. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, click the notification bell. And before you donate to anybody, make sure you take care of yourself and family first. Okay, um, that's the most important thing. Because if you don't help yourself, how can you help others, right? So, with that said, peace, love, and soul. I'm out.
Shalom.
Shalom, y'all. Sorry, SC mate.